Winter Park might be the most overhyped town in all of Central Florida. And I'm telling you that as someone who lived there and sells real estate there. Stick with me because number 5 on this list could cost you and your family the one thing you've been moving here for. Now here's the pitch that everyone falls for. Winter Park is the closest thing that Central Florida has to King Street in Charleston. It's charming, it's quaint, it's exclusive, it's beautiful. Old money Florida with custom homes, private tennis clubs, golf, private and public golf courses, and the single most expensive lake to live on in the entire region. It's genuinely one of my favorite places on earth. My 3rd house was here. I still own that house. It's a rental now. My whole social life is here in Winter Park. And yet I would still talk a lot of buyers out of it. So let me give you the 6 honest stuff no Winter Park paradise video here on YouTube will tell you. I'm Christine. If you are new to the channel, I am a Central Florida real estate agent, and on this channel I help families and out-of-state buyers figure out which neighborhood actually fits their life, not just which one photographs well. Today is the honest counterweight for Winter Park specifically, so let's get into it. Let's start with the thing that everyone falls in love with from the Pinterest board on Winter Park, and that is Park Avenue. My honest take after actually living here for the last, 7, 8 years of my life is that Park Avenue is just overhyped. There are storefronts that nobody walks into. There's a few that just sit vacant. It's a gorgeous street to photograph, but it's not the beating heart of where locals are spending their money. And I'll say this carefully because it matters. Even some of the most well-known restaurants on that strip have had bad health code trouble back in these alleys, even kind of recently. One big name spot got shut down. It fixed the issue overnight and was reopened the next day. And the reason that's hard to escape is because there's a service alley running right behind the avenue, and that's just the reality of an old, dense commercial street. So where do the locals actually like to eat? Well, Hillstone. The Hillstone bar is popping, absolutely popping, especially for lunch. Oh my gosh, if you can get into Hillstone for like a Friday early, like late lunch, early dinner situation at the bar, the best. Luke's is one of my new favorite spots in Winter Park. I think it actually might be Maitland, but it's like almost Winter Park. It's probably right on that line. Luke's has one of my favorite dinner menus in all of Winter Park. Boya is Spanish tapas. It is so good. They have the best churros there. So even after, maybe you have gone to dinner somewhere else and you want a little sweet treat, you can pop into Boya, sit at the bar, and get some churros to go. And oh my gosh, incredible. There's also a new fantastic hand roll bar. I think it's called Montessori. I don't know. Montessori is like the school type. It's not called Montessori, but it's called like Monsori or Monsorini. We love it. And honestly, even the Whole Foods hot bar whenever I'm in a pinch. So you can kind of pick up on the pattern. Almost none of these are on Park Avenue. They're around it. They're off of it. They're in Hannibal Square. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot Armando's. Armando's is amazingly fantastic. They also have a really great Sunday brunch. So there's just so many other places that you can go besides Park Avenue. The street that tourists photograph is not the street that residents live on. If you're moving here, picture yourself strolling Park Avenue every night. The reality is that most will drive past it on the way to dinner somewhere else. Real quick. If this kind of honest breakdown is useful to you, do me a favor and hit subscribe, because this whole channel is me telling you the stuff that most agents and locals won't. And drop the neighborhood in the comments that you're weighing, Winter Park, Oviedo, Maitland, wherever, and I'll tell you straight whether it actually fits what you're after. And if you're seriously planning a Central Florida move, my info is in the description, and that first conversation is always free. Okay, back to it. Let's talk about the homes, because the homes are sometimes not charming, they're just old. Listings, like listing agents, love the word charming, and I need you to understand that charming is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this town. A lot of these older bungalows do not have charm. They're just old. Now, plenty have been beautifully kept up, but a huge number of these have Frankenstein additions, a porch that got walled in and turned into like one long, weird patio with a mini split. Sometimes a whole primary suite wing is just like tacked onto the back. And you can feel when it's not natural, the flow of the house is just not there. The roof lines don't match. The ceiling height drops, or it's a completely different texture or a completely different color. So if you fell in love with the like 1925 charming bungalow, here's the part that smacks buyers in the face after closing. You have to watch the plumbing type, the roof age, and the age of the hot water heater. Those three drive what you can get in an insurance policy. And be careful with homes that have a crawl space, because here in Florida, we are essentially building on a pile of sand. None of that shows up in the dreamy listing photos. I'm not saying don't buy an old Winter Park home. I'm saying that charming is a marketing word. Bringing in an inspector who will tell you whether it's charming or just old is key. Number 3 is that no HOA is not always a good thing. Sometimes it means you just don't know what's going to be next door. Here's one that out-of-state buyers just don't see coming. Winter Park doesn't have a lot of planned unit development, PUDs, with uniform rules. So you can be driving down the street, the nicest street in town, and every other home is a remodel, a tear down, or a custom build. And because that most of Winter Park is a no HOA area, there's no like uniformity, which means that you have a $5 million dream home, and then right next to it, there could be a house that's condemned. You genuinely don't know what's coming up next door. This is exactly why you cannot buy Winter Park new construction sight unseen over the internet. I mean it. You have to come into town and you have to walk the actual street both directions before you fall in love with a rendering on your laptop. The house can be perfect and the lot next door can be a problem. And the lots themselves are a whole other catch. Back in the day, nearly all of these lots, were probably like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath little cottage, that 1920s charming bungalow that we were talking about earlier. Now, builders are dropping mega mansions onto these tiny lots. So you get this like enormous, big, gorgeous, glamorous house with basically zero backyard. If you're okay with that, then that's perfectly fine. But I just want everyone to know what they're getting into. And families coming from a place with like a real backyard, like my Virginia people, my Tennessee people, that is going to be a gut punch that you did not expect. Number 4 is that you are going to pay more for less house. So let's talk money, and I'm not just going to say it's expensive because we all already know that probably. I pulled the actual recent sold comps to show you exactly what the Winter Park 32789 zip code buys you. Look at what that is actually getting you. Winter Park is running about 70% more per square foot than Oviedo for homes that are on average a full generation older. Same size house, 26 years older, 70% more per foot. You are paying a massive premium, and a big chunk of what you're buying is the zip code, not the house. Let me make a reel with 2 homes that both recently sold for the exact same price. $560,000 in Winter Park got you about 1,600 square feet built in 1955, 1955. And on the other hand, $560,000 in Oviedo got you over 2,100 square feet built in 1989. That is 500 plus more square feet and 30 plus years newer for identical money. One honest warning on taxes, because I don't want you to get burned. When you look at a listing's tax figure, that is the seller's tax bill. And in Florida, that number is capped for people who've owned the property for a long time. I have talked about the homestead exemption in my other videos, so go and search that, take a look at them, and learn a lot about it because it's very important and it is unique to Florida. Now, when you buy, the county reassesses the property at your purchase price, so your real tax bill will be higher than what's printed on the listing. And in Winter Park, that reset stings more because the prices are higher and they've gone up so much more than Oviedo, especially since the COVID boom. So budget off your purchase price and the local millage rate, not the seller's old tax line. And don't worry, I can help you with this. Number 5 is that a Winter Park address does not guarantee the Winter Park schools. This is one that can actually cost a family the thing that they moved here for. So make sure you save this part or take some notes. Everybody moves to Winter Park for the schools, but here's what nobody is telling you. Winter Park mailing address does not guarantee Winter Park schools. Winter Park has 2 zip codes and they're not equal. The 32789 zip code is the core. That is your, all Orange County classic Winter Park zone, but the 32792 is split. Most of it is Orange County, but real chunks of it are actually zoned for Seminole County schools, and it even splits into Castleberry and Golden. So 2 houses with the Winter Park 32792 on the mailing address can be in 2 completely different school zones depending on the exact street. On the Orange County side, the schools people are actually paying for, you've got Winter Park High. I was putting park and high in the same word, pie. It's been a long day. You've got Winter Park High, and Winter Park High School is huge. It's north of 3,000 students. Plus, the elementary families Chase is Lakemont, Brookshire, Domerick, over in Maitland, and middle schools like Glenridge Middle and Maitland Middle. The Seminole County zoned part of 32792 feeds to schools like Lake Brook Elementary and Lake Howell High. Now, I'm going to stop you right here. I went to Lake Howell High School and I turned out okay. So if you love a house in 32792 and it's zoned for Lake Howell High, I'm pretty sure I turned out okay. That's okay. It's just not the true Orange County Winter Park schools. As long as it's out in the open and you're okay with that, again, I loved it, and it's only improved since I graduated, which was like a million years ago. I'm not even going to tell you what year that was. All of these schools are genuinely good. Seminole County is an A-rated district, but they're not the marquee names that you're paying a premium for and imagining that your kids will attend. So the rule is to never trust the zip code, never trust the address. Pull the exact home address up on the district school locator before you write an offer. Again, another thing I will help you do if this is super important to you. I will do this for you on any house that you're considering, because getting this wrong is a forever mistake. Number 6 is the daily grind that Winter Park offers you, and that's just, I guess, part of the property taxes, the parking, the privacy, and the social temperature. This is the last one, and this is the stuff that you only learn by actually living here. Parking. Parking in Winter Park is genuinely difficult. It's no secret. The Trader Joe's parking lot is actually the most notoriously awful parking lot. I hope that they move it. You go early morning or late at night and you're fine. Here's the actual reason. The store shares about 150 spaces with its neighbors like Shake Shack, who it was never really built to be the Trader Joe's size parking lot. Some relief may be coming. I think that there's a new Trader Joe's off Maitland Avenue, but that's going to be in Maitland, but it's all close together. It did get an early city approval at the end of 2025, which with its own dedicated parking, but there's no opening date yet, and it's still early in the process, so don't hold your breath. The Saturday Farmers Market runs till about 1 p.m., and it is the hardest parking of the week, though honestly true of every good farmer's market, as I'm sure you know. So I will give Winter Park a pass on this one. 2 more quick ones. If you are chasing the lakefront dream, know that life on these lakes come with almost no privacy. It's a little like living on a golf course. You're on display from the water and it's beautiful, but it's not private. And the social side. There are many private Winter Park country clubs. There's the Interlochen Country Club. Well, I guess the other one's not really a country club. There's the Interlochen Country Club, and then there is the Winter Park Racket Club. If you get into the private club world here, and I have as a guest, it can occasionally feel like a little one-uppy, like you know what I mean? Like the other person's always trying to kind of one-up you. For the most part, people are amazing. Truly, I have nothing bad to say. But if you're someone who's sensitive to keeping up with the Joneses energy, just go in with your eyes open about the temperature of the room. You will find your people. So after all of that, who should buy in Winter Park? Because plenty of people absolutely should. Winter Park is perfect for the move-up buyer who wants like a very true Florida-focused in the action lifestyle and isn't ready for the suburbs yet. Someone social, I would say upper middle class, who loves being close to everything. This town is full of health spas, longevity and anti-aging clinics, top tier gyms like Lifestyle that just opened, the best restaurants, and all the places to see and be seen. If you love a bustling city and you'll happily trade a big backyard for parks, lakes, and walkable outings, Winter Park will make you really happy, and the premium is worth it. But if you love Winter Park and the home prices just don't math out, don't force it. Go look at Winter Garden or the Horizon West area. I love both of those. They're amazing for convenience and newer construction. Or come check out Oviedo if you just want a little bit more of like a homier family city for more house. I've got videos on all of those, so make sure to search my channel and I will link them below. If you're moving to Central Florida and you want someone who tells you the truth about every neighborhood, feel free to reach out. My info is in the description and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.